I just didn't get it.
Don't throw the whole lead right there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a Pedro and Hannibal podcast. Pedro's already putting the spicy stuff right now.
Oh, listen, I'm feeling spicy tonight, actually. So we
Yeah,
might lose some people tonight. We
we
might
may get
gain
kicked
some
out of
people.
this channel. Will be done, and they may find our other channels and say, "What are you spreading? What kind of misinformation or
You know what? You know what?
disinformation?"
I'm for it. I'm here for that. If we want it, maybe tonight we get canceled. So stay tuned.
Maybe you gotta be important to get canceled though, and I don't think we're
True.
important enough. Like,
We're nobody.
and then once we become someone, we'll just delete this shit, delete all
True.
these videos.
True.
like,
True.
like no, that never happened. So yeah, I've been out all day. Before we talk about um, 18-year-olds getting cardiac arrest
Dude, yeah.
and other things like that, I want to talk about how much I hate living here. The last 2 days, I've been hanging out with the family, so haven't done a lot of work. Yesterday, I went to the beach.
Mm,
Now I'm bougie. I'm in Brooklyn.
mm.
I do not go to Coney Island. That's where the peasants go. I put all of my family, like my
Okay.
cousin, wife, kid, we go into our little SUV and I drive to Fire Island. That's about 30 miles from my house. 30
Okay.
Imagine driving to the beach like 30, 50 miles, but you can go to Coney Island, right?
How far is
There's
Coney
no
Island? Like 10 minutes or something?
It's not 10 minutes,
15?
but it's much
Oh, okay.
closer. It's much
Yeah.
closer. But I don't get shot, so I don't go there. And the sand looks dirty and it's just yeah.
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 Bougie.
Anyway,
Bougie. I hear
I'm
bougie.
bougie.
Bougie. Bougie.
So that's a long drive. It rained, so we only were there for about 2 hours, but it was still a good time. But long drive. I
And this
don't
is
drive a
yesterday,
whole
right?
lot. This was yesterday.
Okay.
Even before that, before we went to the beach, I had to go to the city. I drove to the city. Couldn't I actually gave up on the trip because the Brooklyn Bridge was closed. As I
Mhm.
was sitting there to wait to get on the Brooklyn Bridge for about 15 minutes, I said I had to go pick up an item. I said, you know what? Forget picking up the item. I'll just do it tomorrow. But I still drove enough to be really annoyed with driving, right? Just dealing with people just being god awful. So today, took
Mhm.
the family to the zoo,
Damn.
Brooklyn number of the Bronx Zoo. It takes about hour and a half to get there.
Hmm.
Only like 10 miles, like 20 miles. Like the traffic is just so
Yeah.
bad. So I came to the conclusion I hate driving here. Maybe
You,
I hate
you
driving in
so
general.
you just now came to that after being a couple years in the gig economy and
Yeah.
living in New York that you hate driving.
I don't like driving during the day. I'm the night driver. I used to when I did the full-time gig work, I started at night. I'll be out there
Mm,
from 7 to like 2, 3 in the morning
mm,
because I love driving at night because there's less people. But
yeah.
driving during the day with the rest of these people is like why are we all doing this? Why we can't figure something
Where is
else out?
everybody
Like
going? Don't these people work? Like,
I always have that idea. Like
me too. Me too.
and the problem is
Yeah.
a lot of people are working, right? Like it's the buses and the trucks and Uber cabs and I'm like, we all too aggressive with each other. We're cutting each other off. We're not considerate. There's too many of us here. No wonder they're putting tolls to get into Manhattan next year.
That's crazy, man.
During
That's
peak
crazy.
times, there's certain areas that you're gonna have to pay a toll. I think the people in Jersey are about to sue or something because like, wait a minute, we work in the city because
Right.
get to Jersey
Right.
from the city is pretty fast. So not only they gotta pay a toll to come to work. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. But these high metro area, it's terrible. It was in LA for a couple of weeks ago. That traffic was terrible. We
Yeah.
need to move. I agree with Pedro. We need to go and live in the woods. You forget this. This is stupid. I think that's what I'm like. This is why am I doing this? I need
Bro,
to
it
find a job.
sounds like you attempted to have some family time, go to the beach, zoo. I took my family
Overrated.
to the zoo. We went to the zoo on Saturday.
Yeah.
Only there for about an hour and a half. They were about to close down, so a lot of the animals are like, I don't know, they put them somewhere, so we didn't see a lot.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you try to have some good times, and it did
Yeah.
not sound like you had a
That's
good
also
time.
another thing that's overrated. Spending time with family. They're the
Oh,
work. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
hot
kidding.
take, hot take, hot take.
The family time was good. The Brooklyn Zoo was good, but I will complain. I will throw my wife under the bus. Actually, it was her fault. She went during free day. Now, there's another bougie
Oh,
thing about me, guys.
hold on, your zoo's not free.
On Wednesdays,
Our
Bronx Zoo
our
is
zoo
free on
our
Wednesdays.
zoo's always free every day.
Uh, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
St.
How do they make
Louis.
money?
A lot of donations in
Donations.
St. Louis. A lot of philanthropy donations, I guess. But
I
then
yeah, I got you.
there are certain things you have to pay for if you want. There's like a kids exhibit and things, but it's free to walk around and look at the
Yeah,
lions and the tigers and the monkeys and the sea lions. And we
I,
have a really really good zoo here because
yeah.
of that. Yeah,
I think it's $30 or something It's something kind of again not
that's crazy.
expensive, but
I could not imagine spending $90 like when we just went for the three of us. I would not.
oh well, I I
There's no
I
way.
100% disagree. I don't want to be around the free people. So I was at the free people today, and there was a lot of them, really hood people, yelling
Yeah.
really loudly, being very aggressive,
Mm.
getting upset at everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
My son had still had a good time and everything because he don't he's at age where he's still trying to figure out how to say excuse me. So he's squeezing himself into places. I'm like, Matthias, you got to say excuse me. But he's young enough to still be awkward in that aspect. So he got to see all the animals. But no. Anytime it's a free day of something, don't go. There's too many
Mm.
people because everyone thought the same thing. Like my wife, cheap. Oh, it's
Yeah.
free. We'll go there. Everyone and their mama is there free.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
will
That's a good
rather
point.
pay.
It's a good point.
And maybe it's a continuing segment of me being really bougie, but I rather pay and get less people around
And
me.
have a better experience.
Yeah. So get rid of people.
Hannibal does not like people.
I don't know. No, of course I love people. I'm talking to you, hanging out with you guys all the time.
That's
Oh,
funny.
good question here. Does Hannibal have road rage? What's up, Hector? What's up, everyone that's already in the chat watching this here and obviously watching this on replay? Really appreciate it. Mine's got much better as I drove more, which is kind of weird.
Mm.
But doing food delivery helped because you just keep seeing it. So it's like,
Yeah.
why am I going to flip
You
out?
get
Why?
you get numb. You get numb to it.
Yeah, I follow people before.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I was out today doing some things, and I flicked off a couple people. I honked the horn a couple times. I wouldn't say I have road rage. I'm impatient. I don't like
But I think that's
driving
what
around
brings out
stupid
the
people.
road rage.
Yes. So
It's
I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I had a guy follow me once. He did something crazy. I flicked him off, gave him the bird, and he followed me. And I didn't know who this guy was.
so you dodged them.
And I had to dodge him. I was like, I don't know. This
Yeah.
guy got a gun. Is he gonna kill me? He was super aggressive. I was like, I just did my little, escape from the
I got followed
cops
once, and it was kind of funny. But I knew he was going to follow me. But I gave him a look. I didn't even like saying that. I just gave him a little look. And I think he thought he was a tough guy.
Mm.
So I knew he was following me. This is back at W2, and I worked at a dog boarding place. And I'm like, oh, this guy's following me. All right, I'm gonna pull off. I'm gonna pull over right near the job. It didn't matter. I have my dogs in the back, so I pull over and I immediately opened the back, and the guy rode up and he looked at me. I said, "What's up? What's going on?" And
What kind of dog?
Kind of
What kind of dog?
German Shepherd and
Oh, so you
big dog.
feeling,
Yeah,
you feeling like
he would have.
I'm ready. I'm good.
Yeah, he would have got destroyed.
That's
He just
funny.
drove away. But I knew that he thought I'm a tough guy because I'm in Red Hook, Brooklyn. I'm sure if anyone's dealing with Red Hook, it's not the best place to be. But I think for me, trying to find a way to make money without driving, that's the ticket. Now that's hard because driving can make money very quickly.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a grind to be out in the public now. People, after the pandemic, which we're going to talk about some COVID stuff. Can we say the word COVID on YouTube? You can say COVID, right?
Yeah, you can say COVID. Okay. Yeah,
so we're gonna. But after people were locked up or whatever, isolated, going crazy. A lot of people had their livelihoods taken away, and now everybody's out in the streets. It's summertime in big cities like Brooklyn or St. Louis, Chicago, big city, and people lose their mind during summer. Man, it's hot.
Yeah,
you get irritable.
Yeah,
and man. I mean, we have
it's
some
the impatience. Mostly for me, I get mad when you cut me off, not because I'm trying to get I feel like you're trying to hurt me, like you're trying to you're obviously you can damage my property, but you're trying to hurt. So I think for me, my road rage comes like a primal level, especially if I have people in the car. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? It could be a mistake. Some people do. What do you call it? Try to cut people off. Maybe they didn't see. Their mind is in a different spot. We don't really think about other person's issues. We just say this guy's a terrible driver, is a terrible person.
Yep.
It's definitely something to think about. I think for me, I don't like driving during the day. My driving during the day is in Brooklyn, 2-3 miles away from the place I got to take care of dogs, or if I'm doing any deliveries or doing any
Yeah.
kind of work stuff, I don't venture to Manhattan because it's too many cars in Manhattan.
Do you guys
That's
have a
why
lot of
they're putting the
construction?
post.
A lot of
Oh
street
yeah,
construction or
obviously.
things around where you're
Oh
at or not?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
all over the place,
We have it
blocking
too
the
bad here.
streets, having the people, pulling, moving traffic around. I think it's just too much going on, but it is what it is. Lee says, Denver will be a nice change of pace. Way less people. I think to be happier, especially you get older. I don't think you want to be around a lot of people, right? You want to be around a good
I
group,
mean,
but you don't want to be
situationally, yeah, I
sucked
think,
in a, you know,
yeah, situationally, if you're going to certain events or doing certain things, and you can, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't mind being around people, but it depends on what I'm doing. But there are times if I'm in work mode and I'm in a busy grocery store, I can't stand it, you know.
yeah,
But if I'm having some fun, if I'm at the zoo or if I'm at the beach, I don't mind if there's a lot of people around. I actually kind of like that as long as
right.
they're not crazy. I don't mind it. But for me, it's a patience thing because sometimes when you have a lot of people around you, it slows things down sometimes, and that sucks. That's
Yeah,
part of the driving thing you're talking about. People are cutting you off, doing this, and not. You're behind somebody that's going super slow, right? And you're just trying to
right.
get somewhere, and they're driving 30 and a 50. Like that can be super frustrating. But
Yeah,
I also think it comes with age, man. As we get older, I
it's
think we become less patient,
we
and
got
we
less
get
time
that.
to we got time for this.
Yeah, I got no time. Come on, like so. Because I can think back to when I was in my early 20s, let's say, and I was a knucklehead driving crazy, doing this, not caring about people around me. And now I get frustrated when I see young cats doing the same thing I
Yeah,
was doing,
yeah.
So I think with age it kind of comes some of that frustration too. So
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question about driving. I want you to be honest with me. If you are one of these people,
okay,
are you one of these people that at as soon as the light turns green, you're honking your horn?
no, I'm not.
Sure.
Usually when if I'm the first car when a light turns green, I'm usually not like right, like so I'll have the honk, I'll have the horn honked at me
Right, right, right.
sometimes, but I don't usually. No, I'm at least I'd probably say at least five Mississippi. If you don't move after like one Mississippi, two
Actually,
Mississippi,
and also
then
it's
I'm
safe
probably gonna
not to
honk my
blurt,
horn.
just because, to fly over you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I notice if someone is on their phone because that's usually what happens. Someone is on their phone and you
yeah,
have to honk to wake them
absolutely.
up
They're looking
because
down
you
on their
realize you're
device. Yeah,
yeah. And that's the problem with the whole gig work stuff because you're sitting there looking at offers and junk and you're like, you should not be doing this, but you got to pick so it's
yeah.
usually it's not be honest, it's probably not even that. It's people just on their phones. I don't know, doing what?
I listen, bro. You want me to be honest with you, man? I
Okay, go
am
ahead.
super guilty of that. I am on my phone as I'm driving way more than I should admit. Like it's
Was it
bad.
is it has it been worse because of gig work or you always had that habit?
It's been worse because of gig work. Yeah,
Mhm.
gig work, and then just the other thing. Like yeah,
Trying to
bad.
communicate and trying to do your
Trying to
do the
communicate, listening to music, looking at something on YouTube as I'm. It's absolutely. I don't even know how I haven't gotten in accidents. I haven't. As much as
knock on
I've
wood.
driven, I know, right? And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I'm a great driver when it comes to I haven't had things happen, so that's why I think I'm a good driver. But I'm surprised I haven't because I'm not paying attention all the time. It's bad. It's
Well,
something I really got to
your
work on.
your traffic with you in St. Louis isn't as bad
It
as
isn't
other
as bad.
places, but you always got to
Yeah.
be careful because people will do someone doing something wrong and you don't catch it fast enough. So, it's
Yeah.
interesting. People say New York City drivers are the worst. The problem is we are our heads on a swivel. We have to pay attention. We're not in highways. We're
You
in
got those
streets
bikes and
where
shit, and the
people
bike
cross the.
lanes are going
So
crazy.
you
Like,
really
yeah.
so I don't know if it's more. I think it's more aggressive driving or more assertive driving. I don't know if it's worse because I've seen some out of towners that come in. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening here? Usually from Texas. I know Hector. I know he moved to Texas. I don't
Shout
know
out.
what's
Shout
going
out.
on. Some Texas drivers come in New York City. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? But it is what it is. I get over it. It was probably rare that I drive during the day to the city, especially 2 days in a row. I probably won't do that any time. Giggity. Always laugh when
Yeah.
I read his name. I'm man enough to admit I'm a terrible driver. That's why I don't do rideshare. I'm honest. I'm not a great driver. I started really late. I started.
Mhm.
Honestly, I cared about learning how to drive after having a kid, and I was like, well, I'm not putting him on a bus
Really?
or a train. So I didn't grow up learning or had the interest because you take the train, you take the bus.
Yeah.
Uber
Yeah.
came, and I was able to just get right. So I don't have a ton of experience driving until gig work, where you had to
Yeah.
drive every day. That definitely
Yeah.
made me a better driver, more patient driver, more knowledgeable about just awareness. But I wouldn't say I'm a great driver. No, I won't try to play myself.
Mm.
I know you just said, Pedro, you're a great driver. So
Well, I feel, yeah. I mean, it's weird though because I think if I had a camera in my car filming me and the things I do as I'm driving, there's no way insurance would carry me. There's no way my premium would be crazy because I'm just not. But I don't get in accidents, so it's very strange. I don't hit
right,
people. Haven't been hit. Um, I, I guess twice in my life. I rear-ended one lady, but it was a fender bender bumper kind of deal, long
yeah.
time ago. And I had a small little thing a couple years back, like very small. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky. I don't know.
I think what one YouTube channel. There's a bunch of them actually. It's a big like niche in YouTube. Idiots in cars.
Hmm.
Watching that channel or those videos keeps me with a healthy respect of car driving and accidents, because that's all they show. It's just clips. And I don't know how they're making money because it's everyone's doing the same clips. You're like, oh, I saw that from
Yeah.
another show. But anyway, and usually the biggest issues is you're not paying attention, you're
Yep.
going too fast.
Yep.
That's you, and mostly it's the not paying attention part.
Yeah.
Trying to you're leaving you're leaving a parking lot, a complex, and you just another car just hits you. It's like, what are you doing? Running
Yeah,
red
and
lights,
you're
stuff like that.
distracted,
Yeah.
and we had a big accident in the front of my house. We have this turn, and people just go way too fast. And if you don't have proper tread on your wheels, and there's any kind of rain or something, snow, whatever, right? I mean, that's another big. You could be a good driver and not have proper
Yeah,
tires,
yeah.
and
You
that
gotta
could
take care of
be of
yourself.
nobody's fault besides you just not taking care of your vehicle. So, I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of factors there, but listen, I'm a really poor safety driver, but if I had to get in my car right now and go 90 on the highway, I'd be able to
You
do
got
it
it.
and feel very secure in me handling the vehicle. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hector says Texas drivers are the worst drivers of all time, driving on the side of the road, never signal. Yeah, yeah, that sucks. I mean, nowadays with these, get the brand new cars with all these features supposed to help you stop before
we got the
things happen
self-driving
before.
Teslas now and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
so that it hopefully that all kind of makes things a little easier. But all right, let's just jump into this thing here. It was actually kind of a scary situation. I'm like, yo, what the hell happened
Yeah,
with
this happened
LeBron?
yesterday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Bronny
saw it yesterday.
James. It was a practice. Actually, let me put up one of the links I see here. Um, and it's funny. As soon as I went on Twitter, what's it called now? Xer? I don't know. Whatever. Uh, it's Twitter to
Did
me.
they
I know
change
that
the name?
apparently Elon is
Oh,
going to
I
change it
didn't
to
know that.
X.
Let me say this before you get into Bronny James.
Yeah.
I used to like Elon Musk more, like a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. I feel like
Right.
he's a little weird now. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I think he's always been weird. He just
Well,
expresses
weird, but
himself
now
more.
I feel like he's just doing a little too much. But
Yeah. I guess he's like, I bought the company. I'm gonna name it something else. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
whatever. I mean, I check it out every once in a while to see the pulse of the nation
I'm not on
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, so
So I checked this out. LeBron James, or Bronny James, the older son of LeBron James, had a practice and he suffered a cardiac arrest. Was hospitalized. He was in the hospital. He was out of intensive care. He's out of the intensive care unit in
yeah,
stable condition. I think he's home now. I think he's still not in the hospital. And it's really interesting. He's 6'3".
it's odd.
Uh,
I mean, it's odd,
he's
right? To
supposed to
be
be. Yeah, it's
18
very
and
odd.
be top physical condition. I mean, and
Yeah.
have that happen seems. Is it genetic? Is it hereditary? Is there some line of in the family? It seems like he's in great health. So to have that
Yeah.
happen was shocking to me. It's like, damn. But I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear he's okay. I don't know. Is this going to affect his sports at all? Like, is this similar
Right.
to like what DeMar Hamlin went through? Is it different? I don't know. But
And this is where we're going to get into the idea that we may get canceled here. So
yeah,
I went
yeah,
on an Xer app, and all types of theories start flying around. So there was a quote from LeBron James saying that he vaccinated all of his kids. This is a long time ago. Said I researched it. He didn't, but whatever. This is what he said. I researched everything, and I thought the best move. I'm paraphrasing. The best move was to vaccinate my kids. There's a lot of people that are suggesting that this happened because Bronny James was vaccinated.
See, I heard that when DeMar Hamlin. I heard all the people are like, "Oh, well, he's got this," and I thought, "Stop, shut the." I was like, "Shut up! Like, stop! With it's like a crazy conspiracy theory, right?" But I think it's too soon for anybody to really know all the way. But I think it's funny when things happen to athletes and they seem like they're unexplainable, like this DeMar Hamlin thing, Bronny James, other people. It's like, oh, well, they'll fit that into an agenda and a narrative to say, well, I told you so. This isn't, we don't know. Look, he got the jab, he got this, he got that. So I hadn't really gone down. I heard the story about Bronny, but I didn't look into things like you looked into it. But I'm not surprised to hear that people would go down that path and try to connect the two.
Well, there's the problem, the biggest issue, and we're not, we don't have theories. We're just talking at the same time. None of us are doctors.
Right.
But the reason why there's been so much issues is because of what we went through in the last 3 years, where we don't believe in the institutions that we're supposed to protect, that they're supposed to protect us, right?
Good point.
We're getting information that's seemed to be contradictory. Like 1 minute, like I remember Fauci. That's why a lot of people don't like the guy. 1 minute he said,
seemed
"Don't
like
worry."
He was saying one thing 1 minute,
flip flopping. Next minute he said, "Don't worry about wearing a mask." I remember this. Don't worry about it. This is very early on. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Whatever. Don't wear a mask. Then wear a mask. It's like, all right. Then he says, "Okay, open the school." Then close the school. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And you hear him a couple of years ago when he's talking on a podcast, talking about, well, as long as you take care of yourself, you eat right, you exercise, you should be fine. Don't worry about it. Well, when you think about it, towards the real meat of the pandemic, he didn't talk about exercise and eating right anymore. He just kept saying vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. So it just got really, really weird. It just got a little bit. You start to lose trust in the people who you thought was going to take care of you, right? In terms of the medical institutions. So that's why all this conspiracy thing is popping out. And there's a documentary called "Died Suddenly." You ever heard about this one?
I have not. What's it on? Netflix or something else?
No, it's one of these. It's online. So okay. Like, listen, like ChatGPT is letting you know right there and there that they don't believe anything because they just. I said, tell me about "Died Suddenly" because I know about it. They said "Died Suddenly" is a pseudo documentary that premiered last year in November. This film, which is approximately 1 hour long, rehashes conspiracy theories and numerous previous debunked claims to suggest that COVID-19 vaccines cause death.
Interesting.
So it says it used out of text screenshots and clips, basically saying just finding and like I guess antidotes, things to pick out to put into one video to prove that COVID may be killing people with the vaccine, right? Like
let me say this: wouldn't we be hearing more of this? I feel like there's a lot of isolated things, at least from what I see. But I don't seek out the information. But wouldn't there be more people like just suddenly dying or suddenly having heart attacks at 18? Or I would think we'd hear it'd be more on the news, and I don't feel like it is. Am I wrong in thinking that? Or
people? That's the thing. When a young person dies, it's a big deal, right? Because young people usually are healthy. So there are a few athletes, young people around 18-ish, 20-ish that died. And the first thing people will say is they put that hashtag that "died suddenly." Like, it's like, hey, what happened? This athlete is pretty healthy.
And Bobby brought something up. And I remember that Corey Stringer, football player from the Vikings back in the early 2000s, died on the practice field. Like, these things have happened before. You know what I mean? So is it the COVID? I don't know.
No, we don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
So So there is studies. Now, this is a study conducted in Israel that there's reports of myocarditis, that's heart inflammation, right, in young adults after getting the COVID-19 shot.
Interesting.
So they're saying that it's about an increase on, and it says this is I'll read the whole thing. A study conducted in Israel found an increase in emergency cardiovascular events among the under 40 population during the vaccine rollout in the third wave of COVID-19. The study detected an increase of 25% in cardiac arrest. Now, this is just one study, right? There's another study. Let me see. And let's say Mike's found this other study. This is here. Yeah. Again, another study here saying there's an increase among younger people. So this study is suggesting that the COVID-19 may accelerate pre-existing disease, like pre-existing issues.
Interesting.
And maybe the vaccine may be having something to do that, and the stress with that leads to cardiac arrest. So it may not necessarily mean the vaccine did it necessarily. Like if you already have, and that's what they said, people who have pre-existing conditions and you're not really healthy, you may want to get the vaccine because COVID may wipe you out. If you're overweight,
and that's what I always heard about it, you know. And if you're overweight, if you got a serious illness like diabetes, or if you have this, or like, you know, you're more pre-exposed to having, if you get it, to have it really affect you, right? But like, it's a weird. I think we're gonna see a lot more, whether it's documentaries, stories, testimonials, more information about how this vaccine was, how it was made so quickly. A lot of people had questions about that, right?
People don't like that, yeah. And we'll talk about that with Ice Cube talking about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, well, you know, people in their jobs, you had to have it in order to keep a job. That was a big thing, and kids and school, and like, and but then a lot of people would say, well, you know, we've had vaccines, polio and all these other things, and kids get shots for school all the time. Like, why is it a big deal now, but it wasn't before? So, you know, I kind of see both sides. I was always fascinated by this because, like, I have family that was like on one side, and other family members like, no way, I'm not going to do this. I shouldn't have to. And I was always just like, I could see both sides. I really could, because they both make good points, right? But I think there's going to be, it could be 20 years from now, I think a lot more information is going to come out. I think a lot of people will be surprised. That's my thought.
Yeah, and I would say for people who are older, like my parents got it, they seem fine. I know at this point everyone can get it. But when people said, well, as long as you're healthy and you take care of yourself and you're young and you, again, take care of yourself. A lot of us do not take care of ourselves.
Yep.
That you should be fine. And anyone that, and the people who disagree with that would call, you know, like the whole the Joe Rogans of the world, and oh, you guys, they're just idiots. They're killing people with this information. Everyone got so personal and crazy, like just like driving in New York City, crazy aggressive, whether you wanted to do it, you wanted a vaccine or not. If you go on dating websites, they'll let you know, do not talk to me if you don't have a vaccine. Obviously, even like more political stuff. Oh, Trumpers, swipe left. Like,
yeah,
we want people around us that agree with us 100% about everything. And if they don't, we don't want to deal with them. And I don't think that's a healthy society.
It's not. And I think what happened is it divided us even more. We're so divided here, whether it's with politics, with the shot and what happened, and people think it was a plandemic versus a pandemic. Like, we're just so divided. And most of the time, you could just, a lot of people that did not agree with the COVID seemed to mostly be leaning on the right, right? And a lot of liberals were like, I'm getting my shot. I got 5 shots today. Like, like that was what we heard, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And, that's what we heard. And it continued to just divide us, right?
Yes.
And I, a lot of people think that is, there's powerful people at hand that want us divided because it makes them more money. It makes us more blind to what's really going on. Like, and a lot of people think that this COVID thing was part of that, right? And I don't know. I'm not saying I do or what I really know. I don't think about it too much, but I think the division this is another thing that just divided us, and people another thing for people to get angry about and passionate about and spread a lot of misinformation. I think we saw a lot of bad information being spread over the course of the last few years, right? People on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok giving out medical advice, and they're not doctors, which is really dangerous, right? Because if you have
Yeah.
a following and you're saying something, but you don't have a medical license, you probably shouldn't. You should say it's an opinion versus fact. But a
Right.
lot of people just spewing a lot of this stuff, and it's and it still happens, I think, right? But I think the division's the thing that just is more scary than anything else, you know.
Yeah. Bobby with a really good comment. Lifelong liberal here, and was disappointed in the sky is falling reaction from the left.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of that
yeah.
was
A lot of people freaked
and
out, man.
scary. People were
Yeah.
scared, and Bobby also says I was very opposed to mandating, and most Americans are unhealthy. Yeah, the man. All right. I would say for military and people who are in the hospital, you guys are you guys are screwed. I mean, it is what it is. This
Mm.
if you're military, they can probably let you know like, hey, you go into combat situations, you gotta get all the vaccines, whether you decide to do it or not. But I understand the military. You can't have a dude or a chick sick because they didn't take it and infect the entire group of people. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's actually like a combat situation that will destroy something, right? So I understand that in hospitals as well, because usually you're supposed to get the flu shot. Because again, if someone gets sick and a bunch of doctors are out, that's a life and death situation. So those
Mm-hmm.
certain situations where life and death is important, yeah, it's kind of you took this role. But if you're trying to work at the Piggly Wiggly, are you working at a Target? Like really? Like, do you really
Yeah.
need?
Well, and
Why would
some
you
people
even?
got like they would have a religious exemption, or with the whole mask thing, people would want to shop at places and they'd have these cards or these things made up, and I have an exemption, and I like people would get so
Yeah,
remember the videos.
those are
People would get so
annoying. Those are
crazy
annoying
going to
too.
Trader
Yeah,
Joe's, and the little Karen shows up. I want to shop, and it's like, what is happening to people? Like it was such a weird thing. To me,
yeah,
the mask thing was more weird than the shot. That's just me, because the mask is like every day, right? Like every day you saw somebody like, I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. And people wearing a mask but not wearing it properly. So then, really, what's the point? Like the masking was even more fascinating to me. But
yeah.
and I worked I worked at a casino. We got furloughed for a couple of months, right? 2-3 months, something like that. Came
Yeah,
back, and I mean, I was working 10, 12 hours a day sometimes, masked up, like, and it
yeah.
sucked, man. I mean, it really, thinking about now, it's hard to even remind myself like how like hot it got and just how weird it
It's
was to wear a mask
uncomfortable.
for such a long time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Very weird.
yeah.
But
My chick had to deal with that because she worked, she worked
yeah,
for transportation, so she had to wear it, and I think it affected her ability, like her respiratory system.
I
You're not
still
supposed to
see
have something in
people
your
out.
face.
I still see people that wear it in
And I
St.
try
Louis.
not to judge them, right? Because if again, someone that has,
There are people that might live with somebody
who
that
are
has,
sick,
yeah,
yeah, and if
and
something COVID may literally wipe them out. So like I see older folks, and it don't bother me. I don't see what I used to see: the gloves and the mask.
oh,
And usually I
bro,
saw that with my
yeah,
Caribbean old folks. Even probably some, I'm sure even the Spanish community too, like the old people where they think, I don't want to bleed, I don't want to die right
yeah,
now. I got
yeah,
the mask up, I got the gloves back up from me. You too close, that kind of thing. I'm like, all right, you understand, because at this point, at that time, who was dying? Older people and really unhealthy adults,
yeah, yeah,
right? Kids had it bounce off them like a rubber ball. Like my son
yeah.
had it, he was still running around like a maniac, right? It's weird it didn't infect people
I
a certain
got
ways.
it.
And
I got it. I was on my ass for 2.5 days. It was not fun.
yeah,
But I was like, and I got type 1 diabetes, so I have like a serious illness, right?
yeah,
But I bounced back. I'm good. Like
you
I
good.
wasn't, worried, because I just, maybe I look at the world differently. I don't
Yeah.
know, but um,
Bobby
yeah, I
judges
don't
them
know.
though.
I
He
judge them.
judges the mask wearers. All
I
right, the
saw
one
I
that
saw
yeah,
a
go
few
ahead.
people today with a mask, and I always think like why,
Yeah,
But
that's
then I have to remind myself, well, they might have an illness, because
yeah.
there are, in parts of Asia, they were wearing masks way before this whole
And
mask
I
thing in
do agree
America.
with the mask when
So
you're
I think
sick. It kind of right, like
there's some
yeah,
things, there's
it's kind of
benefits, I
like
think.
customary in air. First of all, China's air, I think its air quality is terrible too. But
Mm.
it's a custom. Like if you're sick, you had a cold or something, you should wear a mask. You sneezing and coughing on people, like that kind of makes sense. Like yeah, if you're feeling
Hmm.
sick, you put it on, and then when you're good, you take it off. Like all right, at least you're not when you sneak. Because I think how fast a sneeze can travel. I thought it's like ridiculously quick. Like you're just spraying all types of stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. But here, I see. I see people in masks every day. Not a lot,
Really?
but I see yeah, every day. Either like a couple, it could be a child, it could be an older person, but I'm walking down the street, someone is wearing a mask. There's times I've seen two people in the car by themselves, both wearing masks. I don't understand what
I've
they.
seen people, and I remember I would see people in the park walking outside with a mask. I think I saw one just even in the last month or two.
Yeah.
And that person, I'm gonna judge you like if you're people like running, they got a mask. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's weird. It's
I
weird.
tried working out with a mask that like I was like,
There's
this is
no
not
way.
comfortable.
There's no way.
This is stupid, and I stopped. I stopped going.
We're talking about Bronny James having a cardiac, and I'm glad he's straight, right? But
Yeah.
I saw him play basketball with a mask, but the mask was down. Do you remember that? Kids had to play sport, but the mask was around there. It wasn't even covering their mouth.
Try to put a mask on a child and see where that mask
That's
goes.
my point. Why did they have them play? It made no logical sense. If you're using your eyes and you're just like, okay, we're in what's going on? We need you to wear a mask. So you're gonna put it on and then start playing and go down. It made no logical sense that these kids were having a mask, but they didn't even have it on. It was weird.
So. Yeah. Levi definitely want us canceled. This channel is shut down. Pandemic. We was talking about pandemic.
Listen, if we're gonna get canceled, we need y'all to share this, like, subscribe. Let's get it out there. We're okay.
Pandemic. All right. So I guess we can get into this a little bit. At least my theory on it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Very powerful people took advantage of the situation. I don't know if they knew this was going to happen, but they saw, because that's what really powerful, smart people do. They see a situation and they take advantage of it. A lot of scammers took advantage of it. How much people get in trouble? Millions of dollars of a PPP loan. I got one.
Yeah.
Of a legit business.
Yeah.
I got one set. Some people had like how are they able to scam hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Crazy.
From you know what I mean? So people took advantage of it. So I definitely really believe that happened. And then some people, I think, used it to scare tactic for political reasons.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if that's a pandemic, but it's definitely people
do
what people do.
Listen, right? I think obviously it wasn't completely made up. These things, I mean, something happened. It happened. There's evidence to that.
Yeah.
But I think where the pandemic part might come in, or whatever you want to call it, is when they saw really powerful rich people, because a lot of people they got more wealth.
They got ridiculously wealthy.
Right. So they saw
every person. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue to divide the country. Let's make people scared. Let's do this. Let's have people freak out about buying toilet paper. All this stupid shit that happened. Like, we acted ridiculous. The way the average person coped with this is absolutely embarrassing to me. Right. I remember people were just going nuts, right? But I think people took advantage of that, to your point, and they understood, you know what? What can history tell us from this? We've been through similar things, right? When people get afraid, they start doing things and not doing things, and the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. Yeah. And a lot of people then became more dependent upon the government. Right, whether it was through this,
I mean, we all got those checks.
We all got those checks. People, so it became, there's definitely some manipulation there, right, and bending of the truth. I think a little bit, and I don't think none of us will really know. We can only speculate, but I think we'll know more as time goes along, as people start to talk more and whatever. We learn more. Things will get leaked out, but. Crazy times. I was never worried about it. I was doing ride share, working. My casino got furloughed. They said, "Hey, you want to come back to work?" I said, "Yep, I'm ready." Yeah. I drove in the middle of it. Drove from St. Louis to Florida.
Why?
With my family.
Why you just always felt comfortable in the situation? Like, what you just thought it's not that big a deal, or you couldn't just stay in that house. You had to leave. It didn't matter what was happening outside.
I felt like I don't want somebody telling me what to do. And for me, I'm going to continue to live my life. And I'll take precautions. I wore a mask at times, and I would do things, and you get the little sanitizer, and I did that stuff. But like, I wasn't afraid of it. Because I think the main reason was I didn't have anybody.
I don't think I was either. I really. Yeah.
Oh, are you there?
Oh,
Oh,
my
we're good.
internet is okay, go ahead.
I didn't have anybody close to me that was really affected by it physically. So if I would have seen somebody that I knew, and I didn't see any, not one person, I knew plenty of people that had it, that got it, and they were sick for a few days, but I didn't know anybody, and I know a lot of people worked
Yeah.
during it. I didn't know anybody that was really impacted by it, but from a health standpoint. So I felt like I'm just going to
I
continue to do what I do, and I'll take precautions. And if I went to restaurants or if I went somewhere, and if mask was a requirement, I put it on. Like I never fought people about that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I had friends that were really like cautious, and I always took precautions when I was around them out of respect for their feelings. But I didn't feel, I was never worried by it. Not at the least bit. I wasn't.
I think I
But
was my concern was probably the first couple of months. So the shutdown kind of started in
February
March.
or March,
In
yeah,
March,
yeah.
April, May, I was all right, kind of following what's going on, and then definitely by the summer, I was like, "F this," and mostly because I spent a lot of time looking up this information, and I did realize there were certain things that people were saying that were neglected or ignored, or basically get pushed away, and we only heard one side. And
Mm,
that's the problem when you do that, because I'm a just like any other human being. You try to hide something. Well, I'm going to explore what you're trying to hide, and you
yeah,
start to hear people saying, "Okay, why certain people in certain regions were not dying? Are some of these numbers being fudged?" Like I was looking at certain athletes, like all the major athletes, they'll get it, and then you never think anything happened. Like I don't think has any major athlete died.
no.
Like after Rudy Gobert started the plan, he started it
He,
by protect
remember that? Who was the basketball player? The other guy in the Timberwolves at the time. It was
Anthony.
Rudy Gobert, not Anthony Edwards.
Oh,
It was
not
the other
not not
dude.
yet, right? Yeah, it's been a minute. What was that team? I couldn't tell you.
Oh man. Anyway, you
Uh,
know,
they could, yeah,
Donovan Mitchell. It was Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy
yeah.
Gobert were on the. Donovan Mitchell was on the Jazz, whatever, right? And
Right.
Gobert did something with the mic, or
He was trying to
they
be
shut the
funny. He
games
coughed
down,
and
and
yeah, he rubbed
yeah,
everything down, and he legit
and then
had it. And
Donovan
then,
he gave it to Donovan Mitchell, and then yeah, it was a whole thing. But I don't know.
but I remember all the athletes, football, and they'll get it and they seem okay. And I just felt like people that I knew who had it and if they were really healthy, they worked out,
Yeah,
they're all right. And then the people who are obese, they it was bad.
yeah,
It was bad. So it was like if
yeah,
you're healthy and also older, it's bad. So I
yeah,
started to put some of the pieces together, and then also I didn't want to be in my house anymore. I got tired. So
yeah. Me
good
too,
thing
man.
about gig work, yeah, I went outside and I put the mask on, and I remember there was times where I would stand behind someone, and I remember this one woman that turned around and said, "Can you back up? You're too close to me." And because my mind went to regular,
Mm.
you stand on line, and I was like, "I'm sorry." I forgot the whole remember the 6 feet for
6 feet, 6 feet.
6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, and she was legit. And some people took it very seriously,
Very
and that's
serious.
where the
Yeah,
mental health started going. That's where the riots were happening. That's
yeah.
where it's still to this day, Asian people are being attacked randomly, and no one
Crazy.
wants to say it. A bunch of black people keep doing it, and we don't know why. I don't know why. It just keeps. I'm just
And that was
not
happening
good.
in New York. I remember seeing some videos. And it's like, what the
It still
hell's going
happens.
on here? Like,
Usually,
yeah,
it's always a mental ill dude, and just starts flipping out, cursing at them, and
yeah.
it's like, what is wrong? So the collective psyche has like been destroyed a little bit. Um, I don't know how to get out of that in terms of that.
Mm.
Yeah, Levi's like a bunch have been taken.
Yeah,
Well,
I
if this is
mean,
the last episode, at least be a good one.
listen, we're having said, listen, we're not medical professionals. We are talking about a topic. So listen, we don't need no smoke. All right. We're just sharing an opinion, asking questions. But yeah, it's weird. It was weird. Um, it was a weird time, man. It was very strange. I mean, I remember the 6 feet. We had these signs made at the casino. I had to put them on the floor and measure things. And we had occupancy to where if your restaurant had occupancy of 100 in our county, and it varied across America, we were at 20%. And then we went to 50%. So now I could have 50 people. Hannibal, I used to have to count the number of people in my outlets. So I would have to walk around
Yeah.
with a clipboard and say the Burger Brothers has 20 people. It's 7 p.m. The Burger House, there's 20 people. All right, I'm cool. and we'd
Yeah.
have to have people wait. We had to have the tables separated, and then we'd have lines of people. And these are people at the casino, so they're super entitled. They just lost a lot of money. They're pissed off. They want to eat something for free.
Yeah, they want to show
And I used
out,
to have to
man.
tell people, "Sorry, we're at occupancy," and they would look at me, and I'd have 20 tables clear that they could sit down. I'm sorry, guys. Once we got it was a weird,
It was a weird time, and sometimes I think
Very
I try
weird.
to forget it. Like I don't know, I don't remember all the details. I'm like, God, that
Yeah,
was such a weird time.
yeah,
And
crazy.
it's interesting because I remember Hank Aaron passing away, right? A Hall of
Shout out
Fame,
to Hank Aaron, man.
one of the
Yeah.
greatest baseball players ever played. And people were saying that he died from the vaccine because you see a video a couple weeks back, he's taking it. He's like, "Hey guys, you need to get vaccinated," and he passed away. First of all, he was very old, but the timing. So every people find things, and whether it doesn't matter what side you're on, to grab to say this is what happened. Herman Cain, he was a Republican
I remember that
presidential
guy.
candidate,
Yeah. Hmm.
had cancer, meaning his immune system has been destroyed because he's had cancer. Did not take the vaccine. He died.
Yeah.
If he would have took it, maybe again, I don't know,
Right.
but he walked around saying vaccine, no vaccine, and dies dead like a doornail. So it's like, what's the truth? Like you said, I think we'll know more about it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I could pop up with Ice T.
Yeah. What's the is it Ice Cube and Tucker?
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta say, I've been seeing Ice Cube. Feel like he's been out more, being more vocal about certain things.
Yeah, he's getting tired of this.
Yeah.
And he's getting backlash too because Tucker Carlson. If you are a liberal, you hate him, and black community. Most of us are on the left, so But Ice Cube don't have no fear, man. He was on Piers Morgan a couple of days ago. He'll go anywhere.
Yeah, I've seen him with Bill Maher in the past. Like he's been all over the place, and he's had some hot takes, I guess you could say, right? He's
I mean, very vocal. Businessman, the Big Three. I haven't seen it in a while, but I did watch it. If it comes on, and there's nothing, especially in the summertime, there's nothing on in the Big Three, I'll watch it.
It's actually pretty entertaining. Yeah.
One of the greatest rappers, one of the greatest writers. I keep mentioning this. Ice Cube can write his ass off.
Absolutely.
NWA probably would not be where they without. Yeah, Dre had the beats or whatever. It was Ice Cube writing for everybody. Eazy-E was, that was Ice Cube writing his stuff.
He was the lyrical songwriting. He was the talent of that group. Eazy-E was like the showman kind of. You got Dr. Dre was producing.
Yeah, exactly. The stylist dude. Yeah, he's the. But Ice Cube is one, and the fact that he's able to do, and also acting, and this is what he was talking about with the vaccine. He called it a rush job. He turned down a $9 million movie deal because
he didn't take the shot.
Because you were supposed to take the shot.
Interesting.
It was a movie called Oh Hell No with Jack Black. He turned down the role because his refusal to get vaccinated. He felt he's like we were talking about. He perceived it as a 6-month rush job, and he kind of realized that he never intended to be like the poster child for the anti-vax, but he said his decision was personal and based on his own perceptions and beliefs about the vaccine.
I feel like in it's weird because I talked about the vision of the country, right? And you can go left, right, black, white, and we're divided. We just are. It is what it is, right? But I think we're more similar than we like to believe sometimes, because I think there's a lot of the black community, from what I've seen and heard, whether it's people I know or seeing it just from whatever, the internet, social media, you hear in news. A lot of black people are like, I don't trust the government. I don't want, black people in this country were given shots and used as lab rats.
Yes.
Right? So a lot of people in this country, especially if you're of a certain age and you're African American, they're like, no, I'm not taking that. No.
Yeah, I think
a lot of people were really strong about that, right?
Yeah.
But then you had a lot of other people that didn't take it for other reasons, but then a lot of people in certain communities took it because they were really scared. So it's weird, But I'm not surprised that he, $9 million to Ice Cube's like, yeah, whatever, right? He's going to stand on his ground of what he believes in. Right. But rush job, 6 months. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Well, I guess the response is it was always in development. It wasn't a rush thing, but it had to have been because they had to change laws and change provisions to get it pushed out, right? So,
Yep.
it's a difficult thing because I know again my parents got it, and I didn't say
So did
don't
mine.
get it,
Both of my parents got it.
and my parents seem to be fine. Again, it seems like it's a the mandating thing, mandating it. I think was not the best way of handling it.
Hmm.
Forcing it. That's
Let me
not
ask you a
like when you
question, though. Let
yeah.
me ask you a question. Do you think we've seen this in history where there's been medicine, vaccines, whatever, and that have really helped polio,
Yeah.
chicken pox? Like we have all these other things, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think the government sometimes has a responsibility to do something unpopular for the greater good, even if it's not in the moment, like we see it right now, but
Right.
over the course of time? Do you feel like the government should be stepping in a way and mandating things, or do you think they should never do that and then we just lay the chips fall as they go?
I mean, this is the biggest thing, and it's really like for me, I want less government, but
Hmm.
there's people out there that want more government, more control to help everyone, right? To make them make decisions what they wouldn't normally make on their own. I know that um the history of the seatbelt being mandatory apparently
Yep,
pissed off a lot of people.
a lot of people.
Imagine that now, right?
Imagine that.
I'm not wearing a seatbelt. No, they're like,
Drunk
no, no, no.
drunk driving pissed when they started making drunk driving illegal. There were people that were like, I want to have a beer when I drive. There were
I have a
people
right. I have
that,
a right.
yes, yes.
So I do see that that part of it, but at the same time, I I don't know. Even
You
for
know what I'm
school,
saying,
right?
right? You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
taking your
right? Like
kid to
it's,
school,
yeah.
you need your kid vaccinated, or your kid can't enroll in public school,
You
right?
guys don't remember that? Think so. You remember the little car? You got to have your vaccine, your
Yeah,
whatever. Like so it's weird to think about why we look at some things differently than others, you know. And I'm with you. I don't want government. I don't like the mandate. I don't like things being forced upon people when we should have free will, free thought. We should be able to do things that are right for our bodies, our families. Um, but if you know, there are times I think in history where mandates or whatever you want to call them have actually helped, right? But when our country is so divided, you're never going to get everybody at 100%. You're never going to get anything to really even pass 60% if we think about it, right?
right.
Because we're just so 50-50 with a lot of things, and I don't know.
Yeah, and I forgot about this, but this did happen with the Johnson & Johnson shot that just confirmed just 9 deaths.
Yeah.
Okay, was the result of a rare blood clot caused by the Johnson & Johnson
And
shot.
Johnson had the trials. They did the trials. I had a family member that did that, and they were
Yeah.
part of the placebo or not placebo trials and all that. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say it was a rush job or not, but for me, and I think many people, you want to see how it works out first, and before you may jump in. Or if you have a job and you need to keep your job, you may have to.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember the NBA player Wiggins, right? Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins. Yeah.
He looked so defeated
He
when he
took it
had
though.
to
He
get it.
took it. Yeah.
He took it and he helped win a championship. But I think at first he was still mad about it because they talked
Yeah.
about it afterwards. He was still like, I can't. He so did not want to do it. But the guy's making hundreds of millions of
And that's
dollars.
such a weird spot because
They need him.
Kyrie didn't.
Yeah, if he'd have held on a little longer, right? It's just 6 more months. He's like, God damn, I should have held on for 6 more months.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna throw that question back at you, man. You're
Okay.
in the NBA,
Mm.
balling,
Oh man.
got that 100 million, 200 million. Look how much money did Jalen Brown get?
Oh, biggest contract ever. Three something. Yeah.
300.
Crazy.
So you
Crazy.
get you
NBA
ball out
money's
of control.
crazy.
You're damn near
Oh
you're a
man.
quarter of $1 billion.
Great question. Let's see.
Pedro,
Well,
you got it. Pedro, you want to continue to play? You got to get this
you
vaccine.
got me on the
What
hot seat
are
right
you
now.
doing?
You got me on the
Year
hot seat.
2 of your
Let's see.
giant deal.
Well, how much do I want to share with y'all tonight? I don't know. Let's see. It's a lot of money.
That's a lot. That's
So
right. That's a lot of
this is
money,
how I'm
man.
going to answer that question.
Yeah.
I did not take the shot. I don't have the shot. I wasn't mandated to ever take it. I don't have it. Whatever. I feel fine. I'm good. I do not have it. I can say that it's a personal choice. I do not have it. But if I'm working and if I'm making that kind of money, that's generational. I'm setting up my families, my kids. I probably have to look at it and put my pride, my ego, my beliefs for the greater good of my family and my my legacy. So for me, if it's going to stop me from making $300 million, I'm probably going to take it because I want my kids to, like I want my kids to be set up, and I want to show them. It's weird though, because then it's like, am I showing? Because I'm not somebody that's super passionate either way. I don't have
Right.
a belief system that says I shouldn't do this. To me, it was more like, I think it's kind of whatever. I don't feel the need. So I probably would if it's $300 million because I want my family to have all the options in the world and all the opportunities to do great things in this world. And having $300 million affords you a lot of doors that can open for you. It just does. That's the way the world works. And I want my kids to, like once again, I said, I'm not a Kyrie Irving where I have a belief system that says I should not do this, right? It's more a personal decision. So tough question to answer,
I give
but
Kyrie a lot of respect, but at the
Me
same
too.
time, he was so effing annoying
He
with a
was.
lot of things. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad he's off my team, not because of the mandate. He was just that's the problem. You don't know what is going to set him from not playing. Okay, so that was probably the best reason probably not to play, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
listen, I really don't want to do this, and I'm pretty much taken care of. I got the money, but man, he was frustrating because he's a top 5 player, talent, in my opinion. When it's said and done, Kyrie does things that most human beings can't do with
Mhm.
basketball. And if you say so, Kyrie will do something, a goof off, and don't want to play and not be interested, but that's a whole another thing. Giggity said for 300 mil, he would take it a COVID eject. He'll probably take 3. For me, I guess since Pedro's opening up, I did not get the shot either.
We're gonna get
But
canceled tonight. Hannibal, it's been
but
fun. The show's been
yeah,
fun.
it's been
We've had a
fun.
good
It's
run.
Levi's fault. If I was making that kind of money, see, I'm an asshole. So this is what I would do. I would do an Antonio Brown situation, and
Oh,
hopefully don't get caught.
okay.
Come in with
Oh, the
hey,
fake card, the fake
hey,
COVID card.
come on, here you go.
Antonio Brown is such a
He's an
great
idiot,
football
but
player, but
hopefully be a
he's an
smarter,
idiot. He's so.
a smarter setup than what he did. Like
Put
I
up that
believe
last
so.
comment from Kualaya.
Yeah, let me see
She
where.
wouldn't. She's standing her ground as a strong woman. She's like 300 mil. I'm still not doing it. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean she's better than both of us. She has
We
principles.
she
Yeah.
Way better than both of us combined.
Yeah.
There's not even
You
like
actually,
it's not even a thought. Yeah.
yeah, it's not your fault. We are terrible, but and also it's easy to say you don't want to do when it's on your face. And that 300 million, and you can do all types of things and take care of so many other people. Like it's not. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Corey says there's a sellout every day. Thank goodness my health doesn't come with a price tag. So they're really just giving us the business. It's fine.
Listen, I respect what everybody's saying in the chat, but I think it's different. With $300 million, it's a lot of money, man. Okay, so I think it's a fun conversation to have because it's all hypothetical. But
right.
I mean, like I said, I don't have any kind of like affiliation with any certain belief system that tells me I should do. I don't feel strong either way. I don't do things based on how I feel. Like I want more information, but I'll tell you what, $300 million is a lot of money. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all and be like, no, $300 million is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're gonna try to keep it real here. Like that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
And I'm not saying
I'm not selling my children and my soul. I'm just doing so there's levels to that.
There's levels. I think if you are taken care of, maybe you have the ability to say no or not. But what happens if family needs to eat? Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah,
but I understand people who have that strong beliefs. I guess like I agree with Pedro. I don't have like these. Like I want to get as much information as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take it because I didn't think it was something I needed. Right. But at the same time, if I get more information and 20, 30 years comes down the road, there's enough information to say, well, this is relatively safe, then it's fine. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like everyone, that's another thing too. Everyone gets in this like religious fervor of liberal and is the best, and the conservatives out to kill us. And then the same thing. I'm conservative, and the liberals trying to like that always weirds me out. That cult-ishness
me too.
that
Me
happens.
Too.
So I don't have that. And I said I'll be able
I
to 20
will say
pounds. So I'll
this.
be
I will
lying.
say this. We're both still here. I feel pretty strong. I feel pretty strong.
Right.
So, I mean, just saying, 20 years from now, could I feel differently? Could I feel better, worse? Could people that took it feel better, worse? None of us know. It's all. I mean, this.
We
life
need more more information coming out. Like I
more
said,
information.
there's studies out there that saying younger people have a 20 to 25% increase in cardiac episodes that can potentially kill you. Those are studies are happening, and more should come out. And then the whole mandate, like it. First of all, even the idea of mandating, you should go to your doctor first and see what they suggest. That's how it's supposed to be. You don't go out and let me get this thing.
Yeah.
Wait, did you talk to your doctor first? No, but this guy on CNN told me to. Like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, somebody else's doctor told me what I should do, and like, they told my job to do it. I mean, the mandate thing was weird, man. I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to like tell somebody to wear a mask because socially, somebody might have a compromised immune system, and I don't want to. That's a respectful thing to do. I thought the people that were like, I'm not wearing a mask, and they were coughing on people. I thought those people were clowns. To take it as far as they did, right? It's really simple to put a mask on, but a shot is completely different because that's putting something in your body,
right?
That you don't know what's in that syringe. You just don't know. You're trusting. You have no idea. That's a big deal, right? So to mandate that was a bad move, I think, right? Overall, but
and the people who ran things, we didn't. Well, at least for me, it was hard to trust them, and I think a lot of people didn't trust them. And we're finding out that certain things that were not accurate, not being forthcoming on the origin of the situation. Not, they refused to say it was a lab leak because they were worried about the money. It's all comes about the money, and many people that because Fauci basically was running an organization that would fund you for research. And if you are a doctor and scientist, you doing experiments, you have to get money, right? No, I mean, I don't think you could put a study on Kickstarter. I don't know. Maybe you can. And Fauci would give you the money. Now, if you are looking at Fauci and saying, I think this guy is incorrect about the situation, or I think he's not saying it, you may not want to say anything because if you said something, you're not getting money for your. And that's the thing that was surprising. I thought the scientific community were everyone's looking for the truth and they're trying to find the right thing. No, it's just as political as full of infighting, just like every other job, and everyone is jockeying position because the one man can write you a check that can basically make your career. And that is kind of sad.
Money, man. It's the root. It's we need it to survive. Well, let me take that back. We don't need it to survive, but it makes a difference on whether or not you could survive a little more comfortable. Right. So it's a weird thing. The mask, though, to me was always more weird than the COVID shot. It's just the mask was just a weird kind of thing. But it's easier to stomach that. So
definitely. Okay, we talked about this before. It just seems odd. It's odd. You're by yourself. Like I said, I saw this maybe 2 days ago. I was walking down the street, saw two people, a man and a woman, in a minivan, both had masks on. I don't understand it. It don't bother me as much. Like I just look at it, I'm like, all right. Like I don't. What are you doing? Because I know you go to Florida, and my friend of mine, she still wears a mask. Whatever. People give her looks, and then some people like, you don't have to wear that, right? Like very. First of all, why you care about what this person's doing? They're in a grocery store.
Why do you care? But, they're not affecting you.
Florida people, they won't let you know. You don't have to wear that around here.
Florida is not even part of the America, I don't think. I think Florida is so weird. It's like Mars or something on Earth. It's just weird. Florida people, if you're listening or in the chat and you're from Florida, you should be a little offended that I said that, and I'm fine with that because Florida's just strange. It just is. Florida people are weird. So
I want to listen. I was contemplating living over there, so it may happen. We'll see.
Yeah, but you're still
trying to figure that out.
You're still Brooklyn. If you move to Florida,
I'm still Brooklyn.
You're still Brooklyn. Yeah. So
Yeah. I believe I said Florida's goated.
Florida's
So
goated. I
Pia
don't think
says
so,
Florida's
Levi.
really
Sorry.
conservative. I thought it's still a purple state.
Who's the
I
guy?
guess
Who's the
I
guy
mean,
in Florida? DeSantis? Is that his name?
yeah, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. He's a joke. I'm sorry.
Probably gonna
Sorry.
win. Probably
Sorry.
gonna run. You're not a big
Probably.
fan of
But if
DeSantis?
you're, absolutely not. That's not the kind of guy that I can rock with based on what I've seen.
Listen,
You
we
know,
were
sorry.
an hour done, and you doing some spicy stuff.
I'm throwing spicy. That guy to me is a
All right.
joke. Yeah, he's a clown.
You know what?
Sorry.
Going by the amount of people watching this, apparently they're into either COVID or politics.
Yeah, we got some people here tonight. That's what's
I'm not sure which one they're into, but they're definitely interested in.
Should we talk about the
this
Jason
compared to
Aldean
when we
song
talk
next
about
week?
Nas,
We could bring Jason out. We could talk about Jason Aldean's song and really spice it up, you know?
Yeah. So I guess we got I don't know. No, I mean maybe perhaps Levi might have to come in the show and talk about DeSantis.
Levi,
so listen,
you have an open invite, bro. Anytime. We like you. You're good. We could always have a good debate about
it. All right. You know what? Maybe like I said.
Oh God, no! What do you put that back up? Put it back up. What do you say? Trump for president, DeSantis for VIP. I said, oh boy. Levi, and you're a Giants fan. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, listen. Looks like this. I guess since you guys are interested in this, we don't mind talking about politics. It's just
no, we don't mind. We don't mind talking about.
It's saucy.
Yeah, it is saucy.
But next week, I don't think we're going to be here at all.
Oh, so good point. Yeah, we have a lot going on.
We're going to do the whole Denver stuff. So are we just out for the whole week? What do you think?
Monday. You know what's funny? So I'm actually traveling Monday. We'll be in a hotel somewhere in Kansas, middle of nowhere, right? Dorothy Land. On Monday night. So I'll actually be available Monday night because I'll be sitting in the hotel chilling, and then Wednesday night.
Definitely not Wednesday. We're
not Wednesday, but I would be available Monday if you're available Monday. Let's do Monday.
Okay, so we'll see. Because also you don't know about your internet situation. Hopefully you should be fine.
I should be. I mean, we're at a hotel, connect to Wi-Fi, we should be good.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. But we're gonna really try to make it on Monday. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But yeah, I will be in Denver. Kuala, I'm sorry. It's all right. Hopefully we'll see you next year. I know. Hopefully, the Herbivore event will definitely come back to LA. So we'll definitely see.
Absolutely.
But yeah, maybe we'll come with another political topic, and then Levi come in here and try to shut it down again. And also, if you see the channel still here on Monday.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out. We're gonna get some kind of thing from YouTube. Nobody really knows.
I don't. No one's watching.
I think we'll be. If we need to delete it, we might do that because we want to stay around. But I don't feel like we said anything that was like shocking tonight. So we should be good.
Nah, we're good. It's all good. I appreciate everyone that's been on this and also checking out the replay. And drop your comments. Let us know. Like, are we idiots? You're all in. You're all out. Was it planned? Was it like put it on there? Who gives a shit? Like at this point, let's express ourselves fully and completely. But on that note, be nice, be cool with each other, regardless of what you believe or not. Drive safely, and I guess we'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.